kids, where are you? It's time for all the art to tell stories.
Deep beneath the lush canopy of Greenwood Forest lived the Mole family, Mr. Marvin Mole, Mrs. Millie Mole, and their 3 children, Max, Mia, and Milo. Greenwood Forest thrived with life. Squirrels scampered, birds sang, and deer grazed peacefully. The Mole family loved their underground world, where their network of tunnels stretched far and wide, connecting every corner of the forest. One sunny day, while digging a new pantry tunnel, Max overheard a conversation between 2 rabbits. "Something strange is happening near the edge of the forest," one rabbit said nervously. "There's a foul-smelling liquid leaking from the old factory." "It's seeping into the ground," the other rabbit added. "If it reaches the stream, it'll poison everything." Max's heart sank. He rushed back to their burrow to tell his family. The Mole family gathered in their cozy burrow as Max shared what he had heard. "If that spill gets into the stream, it won't just hurt the animals above ground," Max said. Millie Mole placed a comforting paw on his shoulder. "We need to act quickly," she said. Marvin nodded solemnly. "The forest depends on us. If we can redirect the spill, we might save everyone." The moles held a family meeting to devise a plan. "We need to dig new tunnels to guide the spill away from the stream and into a safe containment area," Marvin explained. "But the spill is already spreading," Milo said. "What if we don't dig fast enough?" "We'll need help," Mia suggested. The Mole family surfaced near the gathering spot, where animals often met to share news. They explained the danger and their plan to redirect the spill. Their animals murmured nervously. "Digging tunnels sounds like mole work," said a hedgehog skeptically. "But we can't just sit back and let the forest be destroyed," exclaimed a young fox. Eventually, the animals agreed to help by clearing debris, gathering materials, and guiding the spill into the newly dug channels. Back underground, the Mole family worked tirelessly, their claws moving faster than ever before. Mia mapped the tunnel routes to avoid tree roots and underground streams. Max and Milo took turns digging, while Marvin and Millie reinforced the walls. Above ground, the other animals kept watch over the spill. The foxes and rabbits alerted the moles whenever the liquid changed direction, and the birds scouted the area for new leaks. One day, while tunneling close to the spill, Max noticed the soil becoming hot. "Dad," he called, "the spill's seeping through here faster than we thought." Marvin hurried over. "We need to reinforce this section immediately. Milo, grab the clay." As they worked, the tunnel began to tremble. "Cave in!" Mia shouted. The family scrambled to safety, but a portion of their work collapsed. The setback discouraged the family, but the other animals rallied around them. "You've already done so much," said the fox. "Don't give up now." A wise owl suggested building a dam upstream to slow the spill, while the moles repaired the collapsed tunnel. Encouraged by their support, the family returned to their work with renewed determination. The Mole family worked through the night. Mia's maps ensured the tunnels led to a safe, unused quarry where the spill could be contained. As the sun rose, the final tunnel was completed. Marvin emerged from the burrow and gave the signal. "It's time." The animals above ground guided the spill. The liquid flowed smoothly through the tunnels, away from the forest and its precious stream. Over the next few days, the animals monitored the spill. The containment area held firm, and the stream remained clean. The forest celebrated the success. The mole family was hailed as heroes for their ingenuity and courage. "You didn't just save the forest," the owl said. "You showed us what teamwork can achieve." The mole family's tunnels became a symbol of resilience and cooperation. Max, Mia, and Milo continued to improve the underground network, ensuring the forest was prepared for any future challenges. Above ground, the animals pledged to protect Greenwood Forest and work together to keep it safe. As for the moles, they were content knowing their small paws had made a mighty difference. Chapter 1. A Dying Garden. In the heart of a quiet valley lay a once thriving garden called Bloomfield. Its flowers shimmered in every color of the rainbow, and its air was filled with the sweet hum of bees and the melodies of birds. But now the garden was wilting. The once brilliant blossoms hung lifeless. The soil had hardened, and the insects had left. High above the garden, in a tree hollow, a lone firefly named Lumi stirred from her daytime slumber. Lumi was the last of her kind in Bloomfield. Her glow was faint but steady, and she cherished the garden that had once been her home. "What's happened to my beautiful Bloomfield?" Lumi whispered, looking at the drooping flowers and brown grass below. Chapter 2. The Search for Answers. Determined to find out what had gone wrong, Lumi ventured into the garden that evening. Her faint glow illuminated the shadows as she flitted between the dying plants. In the corner of the garden, she found an old toad named Crag, perched on a cracked lily pad. "Crag, what's happened to the garden?" Lumi asked. "The soil's dried up, the bees have left, and the sun barely warms this place anymore," Crag croaked sadly. "Without life, the garden can't bloom." Lumi felt a pang in her tiny heart. "What can we do to bring it back?" Crag sighed. "The garden needs light, warmth, and love. Maybe you can help, Lumi. Your glow still carries the magic of the fireflies." Chapter 3. Gathering Light. Inspired by Crag's words, Lumi decided to gather light from the stars and moon to infuse the garden with hope. But her glow was small. She needed help. She flew to the forest edge, where she found Flick, an old owl perched on a branch. "Flick, I need to gather light to save Bloomfield. Can you guide me to the brightest spots?" Flick tilted his head thoughtfully. "The starlight on the mountain peak is the purest, but it's a long and dangerous journey." "I have to try," Lumi said with determination. Chapter 4. The Mountain Journey. Lumi's journey to the mountain peak was perilous. She navigated through a dark forest where bats swooped low, mistaking her glow for prey. She braved a fast-flowing river, where Flick swooped in just in time to lift her to safety. When she finally reached the mountain peak, Lumi was struck by the dazzling starlight. She hovered in the air, absorbing the light until her glow became bright and radiant. Chapter 5. Sharing the Light. Lumi returned to Bloomfield, her glow illuminating the dark corners of the garden. She flew close to each flower, gently casting her light on the petals. The flowers began to lift their heads, their colors returning little by little. As Lumi worked, the animals of the garden began to return. The bees buzzed around the newly blooming flowers, and birds filled the air with song. But Lumi could feel her light fading. She had given so much, and she wasn't sure she had enough left to save the entire garden. Chapter 6. A Spark of Unity. The animals of Bloomfield noticed Lumi's struggle. "We can't let her do this alone," said a young squirrel named Pip. The bees buzzed together, carrying pollen from flower to flower. The birds flapped their wings, stirring the air to spread Lumi's light. Even Crag the toad hopped through the garden, turning over soil to let it breathe again. Together, they amplified Lumi's efforts, and the garden began to bloom in full once more. Chapter 7. The Garden Reborn. As the first rays of dawn touched Bloomfield, Lumi hovered above the garden, watching her home come back to life. Flowers of every color blossomed, and the air was filled with life once more. "You did it, Lumi," Crag said, his voice filled with gratitude. "No," Lumi said with a soft smile. "We did it. The garden needed all of us." Chapter 8. A Legacy of Light. Though Lumi's glow had dimmed, her heart was full. She returned to her tree hollow, content knowing that Bloomfield was thriving again. The animals of the garden never forgot Lumi's sacrifice and courage. They told her story to their young, teaching them the importance of unity and selflessness. And at night, when the stars shone brightly, the creatures of Bloomfield would look up and see Lumi's light among the stars. A glowing reminder of the firefly who brought their garden back to life. If you like our stories, please like, subscribe, and turn on the little bell so you won't miss exciting stories every day. You are also welcome to share it with family and friends to listen to the story together. Love you.